Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. We have a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Max DeLuca scores the bout 116 to 112 in favor of Armando Resendiz. Judge at ringside, David Sutherland scores the bout 115 to 113 to Caleb Plant. Judge at ringside, Steve Weisfeld sees it 116 to 112 in favor of the winner and the new interim WBA super middleweight world champion, Armando.
Caleb Plant, it was a close decision, a split decision. Do you agree with the three judges ringside?
I mean, I felt like it was close, and, you know, in a close fight, sometimes it swings the other way. I felt like I was getting control enough and, you know, using the whole ring, using my jab, but, you know, the judges see it the other way, so what do, you know?
He's known for being a pressure fighter. Was any part of his boxing ability surprising for you in there tonight?
No, not really. It wasn't like, you know, overbearing pressure. He caught me one overhand right. That was pretty good, but other than that, nothing really hurt me or stunned me, but, you know, disappointed, obviously, but.
Are you frustrated in your performance tonight?
I felt like I did good. You know, I used my jab, used the whole ring, was patient, but I wasn't the better man tonight, I guess. I felt like I did enough to pull it off, but, you know, it's not the way it went.
We thought that a victory in this fight could produce a fight with Jamal Charlo, but where do you go from here after this close defeat?
Yeah, I'll just get back with my team, go home to my family, spend time with my daughter. My son's on the way, and, you know, we'll regroup and we'll be back.
Congratulations, Caleb. Baby on the way. Best of luck to you. Thanks for being a stand-up fighter.
Thank you, brother.
Let's throw it back to ringside. And Moro.
Man, he got his ass handed to him. I don't know what he's talking about, and I don't know what that one judge did. That was a gift from that one judge. That was a gift. This was not a close fight. This was not a close fight. And he wasn't using his jab very effectively. He was probing with it. A probing jab is not a jab. It's out there to set up another punch or a combination of punches. Caleb Plant wasn't throwing combinations. He got to look at himself and say, was I holding more than I was punching? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Caleb Plant was holding more than he was punching. And Resendiz was throwing punch after punch after punch after punch.
What a great night it's been here.
Jose Armando Resendiz put some respect on his name. I did not know his name when this fight started. I know his name now. Jose Armando Resendiz. He is now some interim super welterweight. Will Charlo want to fight him? If I was Charlo, I'll move on to bigger and better pastures and try to get a match with the undisputed champion and forget about that interim title. Forget about it. But if he wants to, he can fight him. Resendiz can be beat. Resendiz can be beat. He was beatable. The problem is Caleb Plant wasn't there. Caleb Plant was not there. Caleb Plant was not there. He did not adjust to Resendiz's onslaught when he got caught with that overhand right. From then on, he was holding more than he was punching. He needed to drop, you know, combinations. Caleb Plant lost. So now Jamal Charlo versus Plant is not happening, bro. It's not happening. There's no reason for that to happen. And Plant doesn't want a third loss on his record. Back to back. He needs to build back up. He has to move to the back of the line. He has to move to the back of the line. He can't go back and try to get a Canelo rematch. He just lost to a no-namer. I did not know Jose Armando Resendiz's name properly until tonight. Yes, I put him on the board. But again, if you look at a lot of the promotion, those two guys, Lamont and Resendiz, were off the thing. They were trying to set up the visual where it was Plant versus Jamal Charlo. This was not it. This was not it. This was not it. This was not it. Plant got schooled. He wasn't throwing any punches. He was waiting for a counter punch. I don't know where in his mind he thought, that if he kept going one punch to left hook to the body, that would slow him down. You need to bring combinations, bro. You know that. Everybody knows that. The counter punching wasn't working for you, so you needed to adjust. You needed to become more aggressive. When you got hurt, you needed to punish him for it. That's not what you did. You're the champion. He took it from you. That's how you do it. You dominate the champion. There was no question in anybody's mind that Resendiz, well, except for that one judge. It wasn't a close fight. It wasn't a close fight. If they would have gave it to Plant, it would have been a miscarriage of justice. It would have been stolen. Even the unofficial scorecard had Resendiz losing the first 3 rounds, or in my cards, he lost the first 3 rounds straight. In their card, it was he lost the first 2 rounds, then he won the third, then he lost the fourth, and then the rest was a shutout from 5 on up. It was a shutout. Plant, come on, man. You're not gonna sit there and say you won this fight and that you did good. No, you didn't. You lost. You lost. And I saw you praying. If you watch the end of the fight when they're about to raise Resendiz's hand, Caleb Plant was praying. He's like, come on, let me win this fight. No, that's not how it works. You cannot pray for a victory. You need to own the victory. You need to take it. You're the champion. He took it from you. You should have known you was in trouble. Your corner should have told you was in trouble. They didn't tell you nothing. It's the worst thing to have a corner that's a yes man corner. They're not telling you you're losing. There was no urgency on your part. You kept moving backwards and then backing up into the corner, backing up into the ropes, probing where you didn't need to probe because you didn't have him in trouble. And then when you were probing, you wasn't following up with the probe. The reason you put the probe out there is because you're going to land the hammer on him. Now he's moving it out the way. He figured out he could move it out the way. So my thing is, Resendiz was messing up. He was moving him. He was letting you come in with the 2. You didn't come in with the 2. He swiped it down. When he swiped it down with his power hand, he didn't have his power hand up. So you needed to come in with either a follow-up left hook, like let him swing your arm around, and then you come in fast if you have that kind of speed. Not too many people have that kind of speed. I've seen it done before. Where the guy smacks the hand and then he comes in with two quick hooks. I've seen a jab and then I've seen him turn around and turn it into a hook. I've seen those happen, but it takes a really skilled fighter to do that. Caleb Plant, you didn't show that. Don't tell me you won this fight. Do not tell me you won this fight. You lost. You lost straight out. He took it from you. Jose Armando Resendiz. Put some respect on Jose Armando Resendiz's name. He talk about he gonna be a father. He trying to get this bag. He was hungry. He was moving forward the whole time. He was getting hit to the body. You didn't see him wince. You didn't see him stumble. He was coming in for boom. All right, let's go. He was just ramming right through. You needed to pop. Rail on him, back him up. You can back him up with flurries of 2s. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. A lot of boxers practice that in the ring. I mean, in the gym. The flurries of 2s. You wait for the last 30 seconds of the bell. Pop. You drill. I didn't see that. You had that opportunity. He was moving straight forward, like he had his guards up and he moving straight forward. What you would do, you would try to a lazy uppercut without setting it up, instead of coming with an overhand right and then coming in with an uppercut, or that body shot that you was landing, bringing that body shot, boom, and then bringing it up the middle, or boom, switching, boom, and then bringing it up the middle. You didn't do none of that. And then it was one punch, and then you was complaining about headbutts when you was twisting his arms in the clinch. You was holding him. You was picking him up I think in the second round, you was picking him up. You know, you would get underneath him. I think you're the taller fighter. You would get underneath him and then pick him up off the ground. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? You're the championship boxer. You got beat on pressure. Pressure bust pipes. We don't play boxing here. We don't play boxing here. Caleb Plant, you failed. The same thing that happened to Ryan Garcia. He was the main event. You were the main event. You needed to show and prove. Look, I gave you the first 3 rounds. I gave you the first 3 rounds. I gave them to you. I gave them to you. All you needed to do was follow up with 3 more rounds and you would have won the fight. All you needed was 3 more rounds. I gave you the first 3. It's a 12. I take that. Yeah. You needed 4 more rounds. Excuse me. It's a 12 round fight. I gave you the first 3. Now you got 3 in their pocket. Just like the Knicks, you know, were down 3 and was trying to come back. They couldn't come back. You was up 3 and you almost lost. I mean, you lost. Excuse me. You lost. If the Indiana Pacers would have lost tonight, then they would have been in that situation where you was at tonight. But they didn't. They closed it out in 6. Knicks are gone. Now they got to wait another 25 years or whatever. I don't think they're going to be back next year. A lot of crap happens in the off season, and then people get upset. They get better deals somewhere else. People start dividing up. That team might break up at whatever. Let's see what happens. But that's the NBA. This is boxing. They can play basketball. They can play football. They can play baseball. But we don't play boxing. You can't play boxing. It's life or death in there. You can't sit out, you know, every round and let somebody else jump in. You can't go into the dugout. You can't go to the bench. That's not how boxing works. You know, Caleb, listen, Jose Armando Resendiz has shown you the blueprint on how to beat Caleb Plant. Canelo showed you how to beat Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant is now officially beatable. He is not the boogeyman. He is beatable. And if he's gonna continue with the bad habits of, you know, doing the soldier boy like Ryan Garcia, where you backing up with 2 hands, and then you're not back on your guard, and then you're doing this modified Philly shell. Because this is not a Philly shell. You know, this is a Philly shell. And then you at an angle. This is a Philly shell. This here is not a Philly shell. It's a modified Philly shell, but it's not a Philly shell. Why? Because your whole face is open. You can't even block with your shoulder. You know, if you don't turn, you know, you can't block with your shoulder. You can't protect your chin with your shoulder. You know, you got to be like this. You like this, you get knocked out. Overhand right to the temple. Good night. Body shot. By the time you get that jab loose, especially if you're fighting on the back foot, you like this. You're not going to be able to throw that too. So what happened when you was trying to throw that too? Because you was fighting on the back foot. You would switch to southpaw to throw that too. Caleb Plant, I'm talking to you. That's a mistake. You need to take that out of your repertoire, where you're going to throw the 2 and switch stances. You off balance because now you got to reset. If you connect. If you don't connect, it happens what happened tonight. You didn't connect, and then you got hit with an overhand right. Because now your guard was straight down. It was sloppy. It's not championship caliber. This is why them secondary titles don't mean crap to me. Because I'm old school. And in old school, 1 champion in each division. And we've already proven that the champion in your weight class, 168 super middleweight, is Canelo Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez is the undisputed champion in your weight class. Your secondary title don't mean anything. Interim title. Now you lost it, which is even worse. Now you lost it. Now you don't even have that. So what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to take time off. You know, you got probably a decent paycheck for today that can last you a whole year. Because I know your lifestyle is not, you know, $50,000, $100,000 a year. You know, you probably made $1 million or $2 million tonight. But if your lifestyle matches that with jet flying and vacations and shit like that, that money's going to dry up within a year, within 2 years. If you don't got no good investments, look, man, if you're going to fight like this, you're going to become a journeyman. You was champion at one point, but the way you fighting now, one punch, there's no such thing as a one punch combination, man. People say it all the time, one punch combination. No, it's not a one punch combination. A jab is not a one punch combination. An uppercut, a lead uppercut is not a one punch combination. A lead hook is not a, and then a gazelle lead hook that doesn't land is even worse. Now you off balance. Now you're off balance. So I don't know what you're gonna do, but you're gonna need some time off. You took a lot of time off the last time from your last fight. Now you're gonna take more time off. You really, honestly, I take that back. You shouldn't have no time off. You need to fight a couple of, you know, real no names with like major losing records. They fighters fight some journeymen, because now you're 23-3, and you're looking kind of punchy. Your wife was looking kind of worried. Now she's gonna have to take care of you for the next couple of weeks, so you can heal your ego and your wounds and all of that. You know. Now what? You're not gonna fight Jamar Charlo, because I'm pretty sure PBC not gonna put that fight on. Hey, give me your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think, guys. We'll be back with some other fights coming up. I'm looking forward to to seeing Manny Pacquiao. See how that's gonna turn out, because that's one story that could either be, if Manny Pacquiao wins, he's gonna look like a god. If Manny Pacquiao wins, if he loses, they're gonna be like, he's an old man, he's washed up. You know, he's a Hall of Famer already, because he's gonna be a Hall of Famer right before he gets into that ring. He's a Hall of Famer. He good. But for his opponent, it's a lose-lose for him. He beats him. He beat an old man. If he loses to him, he lost to an old man. And then I'm looking forward to Usyk versus Dubois 2. I'm gonna definitely cover that fight. So hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you know when the next live is coming up. So anyways, with that said, thank you for the privilege of your time. And remember to keep your hands up, chin tucked, and eyes open. And protect yourself at all times, baby.